Once upon a time in a far-off kingdom, there lived a beautiful princess. Now this princess had everything that one could possibly desire: wealth, power, respect, and all the luxuries one could imagine. But despite having it all, she was not happy. And the reason for her unhappiness was that she had no friends. You see, all the other princesses in the kingdom looked down upon her because she was plain and ordinary looking. They mocked her and insulted her, calling her names like Ugly Duckling and Dumpling. So the poor princess spent most of her time alone in her room, taking solace only in the beautiful garden outside her window. One day, while sitting in her room, the princess noticed a tiny little bird sitting on the windowsill. The bird was beautiful, with feathers of all colors, red and blue and green and yellow. And the princess couldn't help but admire its beauty. Just then, the bird turned its head and met the princess's gaze. It stared at her for a moment and then in a tiny voice said, "Hello." The princess was shocked. She had never seen a talking bird before, let alone a colorful one. And so she cautiously approached the window and asked the bird, "Can you really talk?" The bird nodded its head and said, "Of course I can talk. In fact, I'm the only one who can talk. And not only that, I can grant you one wish." The princess was over the moon with joy. She couldn't believe her luck. Finally, someone who wanted to be her friend, and also someone who could help her become beautiful. And so the princess closed her eyes and made a wish. When she opened them, she found herself transformed into the most beautiful girl in the kingdom. The bird flew around her in circles, chirping and singing, "You're beautiful! You're beautiful!" The princess twirled and danced, admiring her reflection in the lake. She was indeed the most beautiful girl in the kingdom. But as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And the beholder in this case was none other than the princess's pet monkey. The monkey had been watching the whole transformation scene from atop a tree and couldn't help but comment, "Well, well, well, if it isn't Miss Ugly Duckling turn, Miss Dumpling, how utterly fascinating!" The princess was horrified. She couldn't believe that her own pet monkey was insulting her. And that's when the monkey jumped down from the tree and approached the princess. He stared at her for a moment and then said, "You know, you may be the most beautiful girl in the kingdom now, but to me you will always be my ugly duckling." With that, the monkey ran away, leaving the princess in tears. The moral of this story is that true beauty comes from within, and that we should not judge others by their appearance.